Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest edition of Inspirational Double Acts. I'm here with Rabbi Liat and Rabbi Moshe Mayerfeld, all the way from Manhattan, Lower East Side, right?
Indeed, we are in the downtown Manhattan, Lower East Side.
Unbelievable. Wow. Okay, so many people would have, who are watching, probably would have known you, but not necessarily from your current projects. Let's just start. Originally, you're from?
Originally, wow.
Well, originally from America, but when we were first married, we lived in Israel. We didn't actually have any plans of leaving, but I think what's really always guided us in our marriage are our goals as opposed to just general daily interests. And so when we had an opportunity to go to London, we jumped on it as something that we could really, make a difference. And
Liat thought we were going to go vacation in England for 2 years.
I just said something really inspirational. But yeah, so we thought we would do it for 2 years, and then 2 years became 20 because we were really,
Wow.
It was very exciting. And I think really what kept us in London is the people more than the weather, that's for sure. But really the people, we met the most extraordinary, amazing people wherever we went and whatever we were doing. So 20 years later,
Wow.
we reevaluated and we thought we were ready for a new project. So so here we are in New York.
Amazing.
I
have to say, I know that story very well. I'm staying in Israel, then going back to London. I know it very personally and very well. So answer the projects, in England, you worked primarily for Aish, right?
Correct. We actually started with the JLE. We were there for 2 years, and then with Aish UK for 18 years.
Amazing.
Totaling 20 years. I always say that my math isn't very good. The difference between 2 and 20, just add a 0, and that's it. We were there for a total of those 20 years in those 2 organizations. I was also the rabbi of Shomer Hadass in West Hampstead for a number of those years. At the end, the last 4 years that we were in England, part-time with Aish and part-time with the shul. And then, like Liat said, there was a pause. The kids were all kind of finishing certain stages of life, of school. We looked around, and we actually had been brought to America on a speaker tour by one of the synagogues in Manhattan. And when we came here, we really saw the opportunities that were available and the difference. And we didn't just want to be static. We didn't want to just keep doing what we were doing because we were doing it. So we decided to take on a new challenge. So we came to New York.
Wow. Okay. Now, what is that challenge in New York? Well, for those who don't know, it wasn't just 18 years with Aish and 2 in JLE. These were like completely successful years. I'd meet students and then they'd say, do you know the Mayerfelds? I was like, yeah, kind of, that was like the regular refrain. So real successful years, thank God. Really a tribute to you. But in America, and the word is key, right?
Yeah, so our new project is called Key. Liat, you could explain what Key is.
Key, really, because the word means so many different things. It's the key to opening opportunities. It's the word in Hebrew. Key means because. We're very much focused on the rationale in Judaism and not just doing things because we've always done them. And we've spelled it K-I-I just because it's fun.
And because it confuses people like me when I ask how it's pronounced, right? Got it.
No, but really what we're focused here on is actually just a little bit of an update, just because it's Corona times and people should understand. We actually came to start a new branch of Aish in New York, but because of the challenges with Corona, the finances kind of disappeared for that project. So we decided not to give up on our goal here, which was to reach out to the young professionals in Manhattan. The lower Manhattan, downtown Manhattan, actually, there's a study done. It probably has the highest concentration of young professional Jews anywhere in that small radius outside of Israel.
Wow.
So there are literally thousands and thousands, tens and hundreds of thousands of young Jews within a 2-mile radius of our home. Many of them have little to no connection with Judaism. So that's why we moved specifically here. It's ironic, actually, we're very close to Williamsburg. We're about a mile from Williamsburg, just over the Williamsburg Bridge, which people think of as this, haven of Jewish community. But there's also another side of Williamsburg with a whole yuppie world, which are, again, very, very little connection to Judaism. There's actually a street called Division Road, and the joke is that the division between, Hasidic Williamsburg and the unaffiliated Williamsburg is, that division. We're trying to bridge that gap. So we chose this area on purpose. And when the Corona challenges happened, we decided we weren't, we put our future here, and we met so many people already in the first year and a half that we were here. We didn't want to just give up. So we put our heads down and refocused and rebranded and started our own project, our own nonprofit, and we launched Key during Corona. And over the last 6 months, thank God, Baruch Hashem, we've raised money and we've connected with students, and we've had programming over Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, through Thanksgiving and Hanukkah and social action programs, and making a difference to people here, especially during these times when people are struggling with loneliness and not connected to anything. We've helped them through Judaism connect to something meaningful and powerful.
Amazing. Gosh, wow, what a journey. Well done for readapting during Corona. That's wow, well done for that. Okay, so we are Lower East Side Manhattan. It's Key, it's young professionals. Students as well?
A little bit, and we're in the NYU community. We live next door to very dear friends who are also English, actually, the Wolfsons.
Oh, sure, yeah. We're in school together.
There you go. Cambridge or
No, Hasmonean.
So we live actually a stone from them. They are the hub of the OU young professional, the student world in NYU. So that we end up, sort of being here for students as well, but that's not our focus. Our main focus is really the 20 and early 30s young professionals.
Got it. Okay. Wow. Okay. Amazing. Brilliant. Sounds like you're doing great stuff.
We hear great things in Stanmore, so we're happy to be connected like this.
Amazing. All right. So let's focus in a little bit on the teamwork element, right? So you've been part of different teams. There's your personal team, meaning you two. And then you've got, I guess, in different projects that you've done, JLE or Aish or Key, probably just utilizing teams in general. So I guess probably the question is, and maybe even brought out during Corona, what is the secret to fostering good teamwork, relationships, especially, let's say, when things are a bit unpredictable?
Wow. Well, there's an assumption that we're doing a good job of it. So.
I count. I've got a smile count over here. You've already hit more than 10. That means you're doing a good job.
No, we're very proud of our team. I guess we always see our team in concentric circles. There's the two of us. There's our nuclear family, which we're very proud of. Our children, now thank God, our grandson, and then the Jewish community, within our community and the Jewish community globally. We've always seen ourselves as, and I think that's really the key. Not to make a plug for Key, but I think the key is seeing myself in a bigger perspective. So, and I think that's why we work so well together, because we see ourselves as really a unit. And the communication and all the essential things that go with that are if you could see yourself not just as self, and that's what drives us to do what we do, and that's why we see the importance of connecting to the Jewish community and the world at large. That starts with us, and the less ego you have, and the less it's not me barosh, as the Nabi says. Who's number one? I know that Liat's number one, and therefore it's easy for me to kind of play my part where necessary to be able to do what we need to do. Add anything?
No. I always say, we're partners in our life, and we're partners at work, and the pros and the cons are pretty much the same. So the pros is that we're always able to communicate about work, and the con is that we're always able to communicate about work. So really, we work together in, I think, both aspects of our lives, very much as a team, as partners, and really for us, I think the real challenge is to be able to find boundaries and to know how to separate the two, because they kind of mesh, and our life is our work and our work is our life, and it becomes hopefully one big beautiful picture.
Yeah, I totally get that. I'm hearing that loud and clear. Amazing. And I guess, teamwork around you. I see it's not like a two-person show, wherever you are, more or less. How do you create a sense of teamwork, do you think, around you? What are the, how do you do that? What are the tactics over there?
One of the great pieces of advice that I got years ago already, Rabbi Naftali Schiff taught me this beautifully in Aish. He said that, good people, talented people, people who are, going to go somewhere aren't afraid of having strong people around them. They're not threatened by talented people. And I think that, I'll be honest, I think that goes with again, within our relationship. We're not threatened by each other's strengths. Quite the opposite. We know where we each other can provide, and we're very happy to step back because the other can step into that role. And I think that's true, when building the teams and working with the teams that we've done over the years. Knowing, I once heard from Rabbi Sachs that solved very beautifully. Okay.
I was going to say.
Okay, there you go. See?
It's fine. You know you're a good team when you finish each other's thoughts and sentences.
So Rabbi Sachs says.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Go, no.
Now I have to go. No, I'm bowing out. Rabbi Sachs said very beautifully that that he built his office and his team recognizing to hire people that would strengthen him when he was weak, right? And he said that he hired people specifically who would be able to give off the areas of strength where he needed them most. And I think very often people are threatened by strong people, or strong people where they're weak, right? And I think that the success to a good team, and our success, really is to be able to recognize where we're strong, where we need a little bit of help and encouragement, where we need to bow out, and where we need to be able to allow the other person to shine. So I think that's been an element of success in our marriage, and knowing where to ask advice, and knowing one other example. I actually did in Aish UK. I did a business breakfast for young professionals, and I brought them to the office of a friend and someone who I was learning with and a supporter of ours. And he is a very successful lawyer. And his advice to the young aspiring lawyers that met with him, he said, no lawyer is 100% good at what they do, right? You're going to be 70, 80, 85% good at what you do. He said, and the key to being 100% successful, well, no one's 100%, but his advice was to being even better than you could be, is knowing whose office door to knock on when you need help in the areas, that you need help in, right? And he said, and knowing which of those areas that you need help in, and not being afraid to ask for that help.
Right. Amazing. That's yeah, I brilliant. Totally hear that. It's also good that they have the humility to be able to say that, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's always been the Jewish perspective and the Torah perspective. When we look at 12 tribes, each of them was gifted with their own talents and abilities, and only when all of them worked together did we have a big picture. And that where in the rest of the world having one person lead is seen as an ideal, in the Jewish world it never was, and it often didn't succeed because we really all are part of one project. And the more we see ourselves as having common goals and working together, then we can each contribute what we have, our strongest part of ourselves. And that's when, the big picture really shines.
Yeah, totally correct. Okay, we've probably got about 30 seconds or so left.
Oh no, I have so much more to say.
What can I do? The sun is about to, I don't know, go. I don't think it ever came up today, to be honest, if you remember. But all right, let's 30 seconds on. Look, people are a little bit stressed. Relationships have been a little bit fractured. What advice do you have to give for those whose relationships may not be, their best day, maybe a little bit, I don't know, rocky? What do you have? What inspiration do you have to give them? Ways to either build, ways to hold on, and to deal with some of that stress.
Wow. Okay, so I think remembering the big picture, remembering why you're in it. Sometimes when we're mega focused on the moment, we things can explode. But when you think about the long term, we're in a marriage, we're in a relationship, talking about working together, when you're fighting and or arguing in a business format about important things, you have to make quick, ultra rational decisions. When you come home at night, it's harder to fight about, what's going to be for dinner, right? So I think it's the same thing with the moments that we're in now. We're in a trying time, a challenging time, a complex time. But we have to remember this is not about, surviving Corona. This is about celebrating our 40th wedding anniversary together. It's about celebrating our long term. And I think that's, if you can, sort of take a deep breath. And yes, there are challenges, and yes, there are difficulties, but recognize where we're trying to get to, then the details of how we get there become a little bit more easier.
Beautiful.
I would just add that I think it's, if as much as possible, to be really forgiving, because things aren't going to be exactly the way we want them to be during this time. And as much as we can let things go, that's great. And I'd say the most important thing is to stock up on ice cream and chocolate cake.
All right. I'm going to quickly call my wife for that one. The forgiving one first, and then the chocolate cake, you know what I mean? Brilliant. Look, Rabbi Moshe and Liat, thank you so much. We appreciate the time. Keep on doing amazing things. A pleasure to catch up.
Thank you for having us.
See you.
All the best. That's lacha there.